Now let us discuss a very important question that is called composition of atmosphere. We all know atmosphere is the region of air present above the earth's surface. It extends up to a certain height of about 500 km from the earth's surface. And the atmosphere is capable of supporting life on earth and save it from the effect of UV ray of the sun. There are various components of atmosphere which include dry air near sea level. Now let us discuss what are the major and minor and trace components of air. Air consists of, as we have studied in the lower classes, nitrogen, oxygen and water vapors. Nitrogen is 78.09% by volume, oxygen is 20.95% by volume, and water vapors are 0.15% by volume. Whereas the major components are argon and carbon dioxide, which are 0.934 and 0.032 respectively. The tracer components include neon, helium, methane, krypton, nitrous oxide, hydrogen, xenon, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, ammonia, carbon monoxide, and so on. We all know that these are various things which are present in the air. Now, there are various parameters which are consisting of atmosphere. These are total mass, temperature, atmospheric pressure, and atmospheric density. Now, students, sometime when this question came, students write the components of atmosphere as troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and ionosphere, which is, we can say, okay. But if somebody asks you the composition of atmosphere, composition is air, that includes major, minor and tracer. Composition, I repeat, is air, that include major, minor and trace. Whereas composition is troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and ionosphere, which is a very important question that came many times in the university exams. Now let us study the major regions of atmosphere. First is troposphere. Troposphere is the region near to the earth, extended up to a height of about 11 km. About 70% of the total mass of air is contained in the troposphere. The most important thing is we have noticed there is a fall in temperature which is due to the fall in pressure and density of air in case of a troposphere. This decrease of temperature with increasing height in troposphere is called positive lapse rate. The second thing is stratosphere. Stratosphere is the region above the troposphere, extended up to an altitude of about 50 km in the stratosphere. In this region, the temperature rises from minus 56 degree to minus 2 degree centigrade. This increase in temperature is due to the solar radiation. Now, my dear students, in case of troposphere, the temperature decreases with increase in height or with fall in pressure or with fall in density of air. As we move upward, both the thing decreases, that is density of air and pressure. Whereas in case of stratosphere, it becomes opposite, which is called negative lapse rate if the temperature increases with height, which is called negative lapse rate. Now, why this took place? This is the reason in which ozone, which absorbs the harmful radiation and prevented ultraviolet light, which is very harmful, from reaching the earth and increases the temperature. Another is mesosphere, which is next to the stratosphere, which extend up to an altitude of about 90 km. It is characterized by low temperature, that is again minus 2 degree to minus 92 degree, and a very low pressure. The main components of mesosphere are the positive ions like O2 positive and NO positive, etc. Now the fourth component is thermosphere, which is the region above mesosphere and extend up to a height of about 500 km. The temperature in this region rises from minus 92 degree to minus 92 degree to plus 1200 centigrade. Very hot at certain region and very cold at very certain regions. The atmospheric gases oxygen and nitrogen in this region absorb the solar radiation in the far ultraviolet region, and therefore ionization will take place. Ionization starts from the thermosphere. That is why the last we can say part is ionosphere. It is the region above, we can say, thermosphere, in between the altitude 50 km to 100 km in the ionosphere. As the name indicates, there are very high levels of ions like O2 positive, O positive, NO positive, and electrons. These species are formed due to solar radiations. During the night, the ultraviolet radiations are not available, so the ions recombine with free electrons to give neutral species from which they originated. And the last one is the exosphere. It is the uppermost region of the atmosphere and extend up to a height of about 1600 km. This is the region contain hydrogen and helium. It has very high temperature due to solar radiation. This region is referred to as outer space. Now let us discuss a very important question, that is the heat budget of the Earth atmospheric system. Now you all know what is budget. We can say how the heat is transponding in the universe. This is called, we can say, this is in for a layman language as a heat budget. Now in a scientific term, we all know that the earth receives all its energy, heat energy, by radiation from the sun. This heat energy received by the earth is subsequently lost by reflection and radiation. The overall result is that the earth loses as much heat as it receives. Therefore, on an average, a near steady state of average global temperature is maintained. Over the years, the earth has neither progressively cooled nor warmed, and the temperature of the earth has remained more or less constant, although there have been some imbalances in local regions. Hence, heat balance is played an important role in maintaining the temperature of the atmosphere. On a rough estimate, that it is assumed that about 8% of the solar radiations received from the sun that are reflected by the combined effect of clouds, snow, and ice sheets. This reflecting capacity, we can say, is called albedo. Out of that, the remaining 68%, the earth absorb about 16 to 17%, and 48 to 51% is absorbed by the earth's surface. What it means? It means if we subtract 100 minus 68, it is about 32. Few percent is reflected and few was absorbed. Ultimately, both the atmosphere and the earth's surface radiate back the absorbed energy as heat. It is the energy transport which plays a significant role in the earth heat budget. This transport of energy takes place by the radiation of energy from the earth, conduction of energy through the interaction of atoms and molecules with the atmosphere, and convection of energy through air circulation. The last two mechanisms, that is conduction of energy and convection of energy, is very much responsible for the heat budget. About 67% energy is radiated into the outer space. In this way, the heat gained and lost is totally balanced over the global scale. The temperature of the earth on an average is maintained around 15 degrees centigrade due to the reabsorption of most of the outgoing radiation by carbon dioxide and water vapors. This combined effect of water vapors and carbon dioxide leads to so-called greenhouse effect. Thus, the heat balance varies from one region of the earth to another. This aspect has a significant effect, and the imbalances between the heat absorbed and radiated cause atmospheric and ocean circulations to occur. Hence, this factor control the climate and weather pattern of the globe. The earth heat balance is considerably affected by a number of human activities. It is well known that many industrial processes are responsible for the discharge of large amount of greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, ozone, nitrous oxide, methane, water vapors, and various particulate matters into the atmosphere. Deforestation, soil erosions, and volcanic eruptions have also added to the misery. Since the carbon dioxide content of the atmosphere is increasing day by day at an alarming rate due to various human activities, the global temperature is also rising gradually. According to United Nations Environmental Protection Energy, that is, a rise of 2 degree temperature may disrupt the heat budget and will cause catastrophic consequences. It is estimated that by the year 2050, the temperature of the globe would rise by 1.5 to 4.5 degrees centigrade. The discharge of pollutants, particularly greenhouse gases, if not controlled, will be disastrous for the environment and the mankind. Thus, heat budget is a very important topic, not only for the examination point of view, but also to understand the various mechanisms through conduction and convection through which the earth is maintaining its temperature.